Hi there, this is True News, where we give you the news behind the news. The controversial senior special assistant to President Muhammad Buhari on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, has said it is unfair to use taxes from herdsmen to subsidize the rich. According to him, and I quote, "Is it fair that taxpayers' money, how many Nigerians have cars anyway? How many of them run generators in their home that they need this fuel for? Is it fair that the farmer, herders and low-level people in the society that the taxpayer money is taken from them are subsidizing the lifestyle of our city urban dwellers?" The president is just trying to be as practical on this matter as possible. He made this statement in response to criticisms of the recent hike in prices of petroleum products and electricity tariffs. Garba gets more and more ridiculous by the day, all in a bid to justify his position. So Garba is telling Nigerians that herdsmen pay taxes. He smartly tried to lump herdsmen, farmers and low-income people into one group when we all know what he really means. Well, Garba, for your information, nomadic herdsmen don't pay taxes. They have no fixed address. They don't subsidize anyone I know. You have forgotten that herdsmen also move their cattle in trailers. Have you also forgotten that farmers move their produce to the market? Have you equally forgotten that low-level people commute to work? Doesn't an increase in transport fare affect them all? It is clear that this is one of the lies sold to President Buhari, that the herders are subsidizing us, so let us remove the subsidy. How pathetic. Well, moving forward, the federal government has announced October 12 as the date for full reopening of 104 unity schools across the country. The Minister of Education, Adamu, said the decision was taken after due consultation with the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. The minister said state and private school owners were at liberty to work out their modalities for the reopening of schools under their purview. He urged school owners to put in place systems that meet social distance procedures and other COVID-19 guidelines developed for safe reopening of schools. The minister warned that any school owner who do not comply with the guidelines risk closure if an outbreak of the virus occurs in the learning facility. He said, and I quote, "Consequently, after due consultation with the Presidential Committee on COVID-19, we have decided that all 104 Unity colleges should reopen on the 12th of October 2020. This is unbelievable. A clear case of the government failing again in its duty. Every day we hear the Presidential Task Force say coronavirus is real and the cases are rising, and then a little over a week ago, we also what happened at the funeral of the late Emir of Zazzau, when top federal government functionaries were part of a funeral that didn't suggest that we were in the middle of a pandemic. Tens of thousands gathered at the funeral without social distancing and masks. Now Nigerian government is about the only government in the world that says schools can reopen, but they should put in place their own social distancing guidelines. Really? Schools should come up with their own guidelines. Wow, unbelievable. Well, parents, it's up to you now, because the government has said you're on your own. And please remember their children are mostly in foreign schools where those governments have set strict guidelines for schools to follow, so they have nothing to lose with this approach of every school for itself, every man for himself. Away from that, now Reno Omokri in a viral video has called out President Buhari in his presidential speech to mark the 60th independence of the nation, which was filled with lies, according to Reno, in what can only be described as a takedown. Reno point by point debunked the president's speech. He called out the president for the failure of his government, tribalism and ineptitude. In his speech, Buhari had boasted that no government in the past did what his administration is doing with the nation's scarce resources. He said, and I quote, "Those in previous government from 1999 to 2015 who presided over the near destruction of the country have now the impudence to attempt to criticize our efforts." Nigeria's leaders from 1999 to 2015 include Olusegun Obasanjo, Omar Musa Yar'Adua and Goodluck Jonathan. Well, this is not the first time the president is blaming past administration for deficiencies of his government. But Reno in his own broadcast stated the achievement of previous administration, but said Nigeria became the world headquarters for extreme poverty, insecurity and economic recession under the Buhari-led administration. Well, dear Reno, a lot of people agree with you, but you are in America and we're here, so there is not much to talk about. Now, finally, on True News, President Donald Trump was taken to Walter Reed National Military Medical Center early Friday evening, less than 24 hours after news broke of his COVID-19 diagnosis, plunging the country into deepening crisis as circle of current and former aides to the president's testing positive rapidly widened. By early Saturday, former White House Councillor Kelani Conwell and President's campaign manager Bill Stephen had both tested positive, which followed the positive diagnosis of 2 U.S. senators who attended Trump's Supreme Court nomination announcement last weekend, and Trump's senior advisor Hope Hicks on Thursday. It was a remarkably fast escalation of the virus threat, which the president has long downplayed, from an infection that caused him mild symptoms to a fever and then being airlifted to the hospital, all while spreading quickly throughout the government and his campaign. Well, all I can say is give him chloroquine. He has always been promoting chloroquine as an effective cure, so he should be treated with it. The whole world seems to be waiting for good news from America. Well, that's all for today on True News. Please leave a comment in the comment section below, and don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms at Roots TV Nigeria.